Welcome to another teaching from perfectingtheworld.com.
Good evening. Good to see you. I will wish you now a Shabbat Shalom. Where I live, Shabbat begins in about 50 minutes for candle lighting. We'll probably only have 2 more Fridays that we can do field notes at 8 o'clock Eastern time before Shabbat begins too soon until the next calendar year. I hope this finds you well. I hope you enjoyed last night's NT project. This week, we started off with, on Sunday evening, asking this question: what is Nevelah? And short of a completely exhaustive study, we have defined the biblical contours of what Nevelah is. We asked the question, what makes my beef unclean? We identified in Leviticus 11, 39, and 40 that a permissible species can become unclean based on the method of death. We learned through Leviticus 17 that there is a manner of death that exempts a permissible species from being unclean and therefore being, in this case, also unkosher. Then we moved from there, the idea of zavach, and we moved from there into the grammar of Deuteronomy 12. As the territory of Israel expanded and the altar was no longer accessible, but the grammar of the altar remained. And the word zavach was used to describe Israel's relationship to common slaughter. Okay. Today we're looking at this question here, and this will introduce us to next week's learning. Who may eat Nevelah, and who are these individuals? Who are they? We're looking at the grammar of Torah's forgotten foreigners. I put foreigner singular because today we're going to be looking at just one category of this foreigner. Our go-to gravity passage here is Deuteronomy 14, and it reads here, Lo tochelu kol nevelah. Do not eat any nevelah. Don't eat any carcass. La'acher asher b'sharecha, the sojourner who is at your gates, titana you may give, wa'achla, to eat, o ma'achor l'nachri, or you may sell it to the alien, the nachri. Ki am kadosh ata l'Adonai el-veheka, for you are a holy people to the Lord your God. Lo tivashel gedi bechelev imo, do not seethe or cook a kid in the milk of its mother. We haven't focused on that last section there, but focusing on the primary area with Nevelah, we see that the Nevelah is prohibited for the Israel. It is permitted to be given as a gift to the ger, and it is sold to the nachri. We're going to further unpack the grammar, the covenantal grammar of this passage, and focus on the category of the nachri. Again, the Nevelah, which is the improperly slaughtered meat, or the meat that's not slaughtered according to the altar method of slaughter, it is forbidden to Israel under the grounds that Israel is an Am Kadosh, a holy people. It may be given to the ger, that is the resident outsider. Outsider might not be the best term for it. I might revise that at some point on this slide. But this becomes part of a welfare provision. This is the ger who is bisharecha, who has a relationship to Israel's social order. And then we have the nochri. The nochri may purchase this. Okay, the nochri, I think I defined it here. Let's look at the translation. So the sojourner is the ger, and the foreigner is the nochri, is the way that we've translated these two words here. This is the boundaried system of Israel's social order. We'll be returning to this slide on multiple occasions. Bird's eye view, an actual bird's eye view, if this were the land of Israel and it were gated, there's a special holiness for the land of Israel, a special holiness for Jerusalem, and of course a special holiness for the temple, the mikdash, and for the service thereof. The nochri stands as an individual who is outside the gates, or somebody who is passing through, who's not invested in Israel or in the Holy Land or in its cities. The ger sha'ar, the ger at the gates, the ger sha'ar is the ger, the sojourner, who is, as we will learn later, registered to the gate of Israel. That is, he or she has passed into Israel's social order, Israel's visible Torah social order. And then we have further down the road, we have the ger Israel. That's the fully naturalized ger, and the Ezrak Israel. This is the individual who's born as an Israelite. Now we have two errors that we see today, two extremes on a spectrum of how two different communities relate to this structure. And maybe you might be able to identify just based on this picture which community does what. We have one community which has taken the gates and it has blockaded them. This community has been under siege, violently under siege for 2,000 years plus, longer than that. But for the last 2,000 years, the last 3,000 years, we've been under siege, and we have inherited the practice of blockading the gates. The other community has demolished the gates. It has pretended the gates are dissolved. And this community asserts and holds that the gates have dissolved because of a particular interior transition, because of a particular set of doctrines and beliefs. Both of these are equally at odds with Torah's grammar. The boundaries in the Torah, these boundaries, okay, these are inherently the architecture of assent. Just like in a healthy relationship, a boundary is not a way to shut a person out. It's an opportunity to show love and respect for the person who is asserting their boundaries. These boundaries are the boundaries of holiness, okay? Let's look at this word nachri. The text reads, O machor la-nachri, or you may sell it to the nachri. The nachri is the foreigner. It comes from the Hebrew nacher, which means strangeness, foreignness, and alarity. Alarity is a fancy word for otherness. The nachri is the foreigner, the alien, the stranger, one who is not part of Israel's public social order, not part of any of the covenantal spheres of Israel, does not participate in the public worship of Israel. Okay, this is the nachri. Let's give some examples of this word nacher. The reason why I want to give these examples is because this word nacher, it carries covenantal connotations that align specifically with what we call avodah zarah or idolatry. This is 32:12 of Deuteronomy. It reads, Adonai badad yanchenu We'enimo el nechar. Hashem alone guided him, referring to the people of Israel, and there was no foreign god with him. No el necher. There was no foreign god. The word necher is being mapped on as an adjective to describe a foreign god. The same term is used here. Lo hihyeh b'cha el zar. There was no alien god, no foreign god. Well, lo teshachawe el nechar, and you shall not bow down to an el nechar, to a foreign god. Another passage here, this is 31:16 of Deuteronomy. It says, Hashem said to Moses, here you are about to lie beside your fathers. Now this people will proceed to go a whoring after the alien gods. Okay, the word there was na acheri Elohei naicher haaretz. That's the phrase here was na. That means to go whoring or to prostitute themselves. Achere, after, Elohei, God's, necher, of foreign origin or of alien covenantal relationship, haaretz, of the land that they were going to possess. The idea here of the el nechar, okay, again, this is the same shoresh, the same root as nochri. Just to go back to the slide here, the word nachri, you can see the root here is nechar, okay? This idea of the el nechar, or the Elohei nechar, the foreign god or the foreign gods, the alien god or the alien gods, suggests and directly connotes, not just suggests, but it just directly connotes the idea of a participation in avodah zarah, in an alien service or an alien worship, most likely to a foreign god. The connotations of this word specifically are avodah zarah. Okay, this word connotes the idea of idolatry. Okay, throughout the Tanakh, throughout the Hebrew Bible, it has strong avodah zarah, idolatrous connotations. It's stepping outside or being outside of Israel's covenantal order. Okay. Now, within the structure, and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but this boundary here is the boundary of joining to Hashem. It's the word Noel El Yisrael, that's joining to Israel, and Noel El Adonai, and joining to Hashem. Okay, this is the Ger Toshav who has joined alongside Israel and has joined to Hashem. This individual is able to eat Nevelah, but this individual is in contrast to the Nochri. The Nochri specifically is an outsider. He or she's an outsider who is not oriented toward Israel's public order. Okay, you can see this individual has not crossed the threshold boundary of entry into Israel's social order. Instead, they are oriented away from the same. They're not apprenticed to learn. They're turned away from the same. Okay, if we were to give the contrast here, you can see it in these pictures. The Nachri is just passing through. Okay, they have a relationship of advantage to the land of Israel, to the people of Israel, but they're just passing through. They have no desire to make their home within Israel's social order. Now, in contrast, you have the Ger Sha'ar. The Ger Sha'ar, the word Sha'ar means the gate. The Sha'ar is the seat of judgment in Israel. That's where the decisions are made by the judges. The Ger Sha'ar has entered into the social order of Israel. Okay, we'll actually learn that more next week. This is highly significant because what this person has done is a civilizational shift. By apprenticing him or herself or his or her household to Torah's social order. That's Israel's social order, to Israel's Torah. This is a massive shift. This is the person who has left idolatry, left foreign worship and foreign religions, and has come under the protection and under a relationship to Israel that is positive, but that begins with forsaking idolatry. Okay. Now, in this note, I want to end here with a really big positive. This passage in Isaiah 56 is inspiring for many people, and I hope it is for you. This is Isaiah 56. I believe it's verses 2, 3, and 5. It reads here, Ashrei Enosh Ya'aseh Zoth. Happy is the man that does this. Uvenadam, the son of man, Yechazech Ba, who lays hold of this. Shomer Shabbath Mechalo, who protects and guards the Sabbath from profaning it. Will Shomer Yado Me'asoth Korah, and protects and keeps his hand from doing any evil. Now look at what happens next. Wa'al Yomer ben HaNechar, let not the son of the foreigner. You can see the word Nechar here. What's really important to understand in Torah, the covenant absolutely is based on a transmission based on parentage, without question. But one's parentage is not a limitation to assent and to worshiping God. It says, Wa'al Yomer ben HaNechar, let not the son of the Nechar, the foreigner. If you bring in the connotation, the covenantal connotation of the foreign God, you could say even the son of the foreign God. Hal Nilei al Adonai, who joins to Hashem, Lemor, let him not say, Havdil Yavdileni, surely separating me, Adonai, Hashem, Me'alamo, from his people, Wa'al Yomer Hasarim, Hein Ani Eitz Yavesh. So let not the son of the foreigner or the son of the foreign God. This is the person who has forsaken, who has abdicated, who has renounced the avodah zarah and entered the social order. The one who has joined himself to Hashem. Let him not say, Hashem will surely separate me from his people. Neither let the Enoch say, behold, I'm a dry tree. I believe this is verse 5. It reads, Uvenei hanechar hel nilim el Adonai, and the sons of the foreigner join themselves to Hashem, l'sartho o ahava eth shem Adonai, to serve him and to love the name of Hashem, liyothel la'avadim, to be to him servants avadim, kol shomer Shabbat mechalo, who protect the Sabbath from profaning it, mechazikim berithi, and lay hold fast of my covenant. It goes on to say that they shall be brought in and made joyous in the house of prayer. So I want to end on that note. On the note that regardless of your parentage, regardless of where your family of origin is, the Torah is not blockading your participation in Israel's social public order. You can participate in it. The boundaries are the architecture of assent. Okay, and the solution is not the blockading of the boundaries, and the solution is not to pretend the boundaries don't exist. That is to theologically nullify them based on particular doctrines and so on. The question that we're going to be looking at too is as we continue to look at this whole Nochri and the Ger and so on, we're going to be asking, what does the permissibility of Nevelah, the fact that the Nochri and the Ger is permitted to eat Nevelah, it's not sinful for them to eat Nevelah, okay? What does that tell us about the nature of Torah and the nature of Torah's food regulations? I can tell you right now, I see a lot of people that treat the Torah's food regulations almost like a Greek dualism, like substance good, substance bad, and that's the only way that they map it. And they create it into like a metaphysical, ontological, cosmic sin of sorts. If you have any thoughts on this specifically, please put that in the comments below. The question is, what does the permissibility of Nevelah to the foreigners, to the Nevelah, to the Nochri, and to the Ger Sha'ar, the Ger at the gate, what does that say about the nature of the Torah? Okay. And I want to end here with a positive, a big positive. I'm inviting you to join the Reclamation Project. We have a few Reclamation projects going on right now, as a matter of fact. The one Reclamation project, which I mentioned, which we've been doing, is the Torah Tuesdays, where we are reclaiming the image of God. The biblical framing and message of the image of God is powerful. It is life-changing. But the other Reclamation project we're doing is taking what's been used as a weapon against us for the last 2,000 years. Okay, we're taking that and we're turning it around. Okay, it's been used as a weapon against us. This is a collection of books written by Jewish authors who stayed Jewish for their entire lives, who are not trying to create a new religion, who are not trying to separate from the body of Israel or create new constitutional centers of authority. We are putting them back in their context, and we're learning how to learn the NT, the New Testament, with Torah disciplined eyes. Okay, we are currently in a study of Ephesians 2. If this study interests you, if you are interested in being ahead of the curve, if you're interested in being on the offensive, if you're interested specifically in bringing the Geula, the redemption, bringing the world into the next stage of the Geula. The next stage of the Geula is the Messianic era. That's when God's kingdom is going to be visibly present here on this earth. Of course, that is one step toward Olam Haba. Okay, one step toward the maturation of the world toward Olam Haba. It's the next step of the tikkun, of the rectification. And call me crazy, but I hold that the NT is like a cosmic Trojan horse. Okay, it's full of Jewish ideas that need to be given the right voice at this time. I wish you all a fantastic Shabbat. The phrase we often say is Shabbat Shalom. For those that don't know, the word Shalom means more than just peace. Shabbat Shalom means more than just a peaceful Shabbat. Shalom means wholeness. It means completeness. And the entire goal and objective of Shabbat is that. In fact, the entire goal and objective of creation is for God to dwell in these lower worlds, for God to be in Shabbat with humanity, to be in communion. And the word Shabbat has the same root as yeshav, as to sit and to dwell. God's seeking to dwell in the creation. And then when I say Shabbat Shalom, it's a reminder that we are seeking the Malchuth Shemayim, the kingdom of heaven in this world. I wish you a fantastic Shabbat. We're back Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, looking at the difference between the authority of the prophets and the authority of the judges of Israel. I look forward to seeing you there. Have a Shabbat Shalom.
Join the perfectingtheworld.com community today.